Hey, welcome back to the channel, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Today we got a real smelly situation in our hands. We're cleaning corrals. That time of year, every fall, we get the corrals cleaned out, and yeah, let's get her done here. We are in what we would call our heifer pen. This is the pen where our heifers come out of the hay shed. They get into here at around 6 months of age, and until they are pregnant, and then they head on to the next pen. But what we're going to be doing here, we got a bit of a situation now. With all the extra cows we'll be milking, we are going to have a lot of cows calving here in October. We are going to have 24 cows calving in October. The extra cows are going to be here for a little bit longer. So for us on the normal, we calve around 5, 6, maybe 7 cows in a month. That's kind of our norm. So to calve out 22, that's just crazy. So we have the close-up pen in the barn. That right now is set for 5 cows. I can double that to 10. If we try and do 11 or 12, it gets too crowded, not enough feed bunk space. So what we're going to do is I've actually moved the heifers over to another pen. They're going to be there for the month of October, and this pen here is going to turn into our secondary close-up cow pen. It's right next to our handling system, so to get cows in and out of here is really easy. So cows will be moved from here into the barn. But if they were happening to calve, they'd be in a nice pen outside with lots of bedding out here. And if they do calve, it's very easy to sort her off, load her up in the couch there, take her to the barn to get milked. So it's just a bit of an issue we got, not a bad one, just a problem we got to work with. And yeah, this is the solution we come up with. So we're going to get to it here. I'm going to strap you guys to the skid steer. We're going to load up the Joskin trailer here. We're going to haul some poo. There's also a little bit of sideline action going on today. Going on over here. Oh, 707, my old friend. Is a heck of a good cow, but we just can't seem to get her pregnant with AI. I've bred her several times now. Good producer. So as a last ditch effort, Mr. Hereford there, he's gonna do his thing. I'm gonna try and do it the au naturel way. So they're in the little handling pen right next to where we're loading manure. So I'm keeping a bit of an eye and yeah, making sure that he gets the deed done. Oh, you guys almost got crapped on. So that's the load. We're kind of about 2/3 done the corral already. But yeah, we're not hauling very far, just hauling to our stockpile kind of behind the yard here. But let's go dump this load. It's also been the summer of broken doors for us around here. See my skid steer? Yeah, I smashed out a couple weeks ago moving a big windbreak panel. And our poor little John Deere here, we have broken 3 doors on this summer. It's actually a little bit embarrassing to mention that, but yeah. Natural AC around here. I have new doors for both. I have decided not to put them back on until I need to because I'm freezing my butt off in the cab. For now, just leave them off. It is what it is. Tight fit here in this corral. I will say, for the most part, not having a door there isn't as inconvenient as one would think. Obviously, if it rains, it really sucks. Going down the road, it's a little dusty. Doing bedding in the barn can get a little bit dusty, but boy, it's kind of like having the best of both worlds. You got the shade of a cab with the convenience of getting in and out or off the machine like a cabless tractor. So, you know, it's not all that bad, but for winter time, we're definitely going to want to put the door back on. So yeah, what's been going on around here the last little while? Well, last week was millet week. We did the second cutting on that Japanese millet. Didn't film any of it. You guys have seen me out in that field wrapping and all that a little bit. But just to update on that and highlight, that second cutting millet was phenomenal. We got 260 bales of 37 acres. 7 bales an acre. I was out there until 10 o'clock at night getting them all wrapped, and then between myself, Christy Lane, and Slade, it took us 3 days of hauling in between chores. If we weren't milking cows or feeding cows, we were in the 40 for 40, up and down that road, hauling them bales. Good problems to have. Here, I'll turn you guys around so you can see a nice big stack we made of millet bales. So that big stack there is all of our millet. Yeah, to get a second cutting like that in, I believe it was 38 days since the first cutting. We had some late season rains there in August that made all the difference in the world. So incredibly thankful for that. And yeah, that puts us as the farm in a much better spot now feed-wise going into winter. It just takes that pressure off. Now to have a reserve of feed and feed carryover, that's a burden off my shoulders. We've yet to test it. I'm not quite sure what that stuff will test like. The first cut tested not bad. The second cut, yeah, like I said, it grew back in 30 some days. It got a little bit ahead of us. It did head out a bit, so that might impact the quality a little bit, but just it actually rained a little bit, so we kind of had rain delay, and our custom guys, you know, this time of year, they're so busy doing hay and straw, so just to line it all up, we're about a week behind what I wanted to cut it, but hey, that's just the way things go. So anywho, now we're back here behind the barn. You can see there's the feed yard, there's a barn. We have this big stockpile of manure here. This is all the stuff that I kind of haul out from the barn, all the scraping from the alley, some corral cleaning stuff. There's about 2 full barn cleanouts worth of manure here as well. We try and get most of the manure out to the field where we're going to spread it. But this stuff, you know, just convenient. Sometimes I need a place to quickly put it. We'll just haul it here. And then in maybe a month from now, mid-October, end of October, our custom manure guys will come, and way out yonder, you see the beef cows way out there, that 80-acre piece they're grazing now, all this manure will get spread on there. So there might be a question, Richard, why don't you just have a spreader and just load the manure from the corral into the spreader and spread it on the field? Well, we don't own a manure spreader, so that's one thing, and we don't have the cash on hand to buy one, but we find that just the convenience factor of the trailer, just be able to stockpile this manure, it just works for us. And our custom guys come in and they've got an excavator, 2 great big bunning manure spreaders. They'll take care of this pile in a day and a half, 2 days, and it's gone. And they do a really good job of that. And a lot of this manure gets hauled here in what we call the off season. So from mid-November till mid-April, we can't spread manure here in Manitoba. So I need to stockpile it anyways. So we have a nice spot here to stockpile it. Real close to the yard. I can haul back and forth real quick, so that's kind of why we do that. But let's get this load off of this trailer and get another one. Made it. Man, I'm always nervous trying these shots. I see all the other guys out there, the farm tubers doing these shots, you know, and I don't have the greatest gear, so my little clip here, it held on. You guys went for a ride, you came back, we're all good. So another big job coming up, a really good video coming soon, hopefully maybe end of this week, maybe next week, chopping corn silage. So I've got my guy from our custom silage crew going to the field today to grab some stalks. He's going to grind it up, do a moisture test. It is now September the 21st, I believe, and it's just beautiful here in Manitoba. We've had such good weather recently. We had plus 32 here this past weekend, and you know, we had some late season rains like I mentioned. With the heat, things are still growing. Things are very, very green. So a lot of the corn silage is still very moist, but you know, we got to check to make sure we're going to get it at the optimal time. We're going to make a pile this year for about 3/4 of the corn, so we kind of want that around that 65%. We're going to bag some as well. That should like closer to 60, but because the majority is going into a pile, we may end up taking it a little bit on the wetter side for the bag. But he's going to grab some moisture samples just so we know where we're at, make a plan. But what I'm doing here, I'm in the feed yard. I just got to quickly measure out my spot. I've got a bit of a calculator equation that I've done to figure out, okay, if I make a pile 50 feet wide, 5 feet tall, 200 feet long, that gives me well over 1,000 tons of silage in that pile. So now it's just actually going to measure that out to make sure that dimension is going to fit here. And I can pick up my roll of plastic so that if we decide to chop, we're ready to go. We've got all supplies on hand. So I'm running my tape out here, quickly measure this guy up. There we go, just what I wanted. 50 by 200, should fit just perfect there. We had our local guy come in last week with his grader, just kind of level this spot off a little bit for me. A nice smooth pad. And yeah, we will pile some silage there in a couple days, maybe a week, who knows. Okay, got the last load in here. There was 13 loads in this pen. Last one's heaped nice and full as always. But yeah, that's got the pen cleaned out. So we will catch up with you guys tomorrow when we put some bedding in here and bring some cows in. Okay, we're back. It's the next day. We have brought all the cows in off pasture and we got them in the handling pen behind us, and it is time to give all those close-up cows, as we call them, before they calve, their calving vaccines. So just loading up some vaccine guns here and around the chute real quick. Alright, so close-up cows, we have 3 needles. We have scour vaccine. This is more for the calf than the cow. It's just to protect the newborn calf for scours. It'll give passive immunity through her colostrum. She gets mastitis vaccine to help prevent E. coli and mastitis, and a shot of vitamin A, D, and E. Just extra vitamins, helps with calcium absorption when they calve. Okay, so that's the cows sorted and vaccinated and moved into a nice clean pen, and now they're fed. So one thing we're doing when we're moving cows from the dry cow pasture, or the dry cow phase of the dry-off period, I guess, is anyways, when they come into the close-up pen, we change their ration slightly. This ration has a little bit more energy, more vitamins, more minerals, just things to help prepare her to have her calf and to start a good lactation. So they're all fed, they're all eating. It's supper time. Time for me to do the same. Thanks for watching. As always, thumbs up. thumbs up down below. Yeah, subscribe. We'll see you next time.